Okay guys, we will go now to the functionality part of our guest page where we can directly say that like the picture of Jennifer Lawrence, go to the comments, etc, etc. Okay, so since we have already implemented the like function, we'll just simply copy this block of code from the home view controller.swift. So we're going to the home vc.swift and I'll scroll down and I will get the function which is called like button underscore click. That is the one. In my case, it's 1178 the line. I'll just copy this entire block of code till here till the final closure. So I pressed Command C to copy this. Then I'm going to the guest VC. I'll scroll right to the bottom, and here after load more, I'll just insert in here. Okay, so we've inserted this function here. As what we need to do is we should not change here anything, because user ID means the one who liked it always will be current user, the one who did like the post. Post ID, it is the ID of any post, irrelevantly your own post or your friend's post. And the rest logic of the code is exactly the same. So the only thing which we need to do is we need to create the IB action connection from the like button to this post. Okay, we're now going to the main storyboard, and we're going to main storyboard. In order to select this like button, call assistant editor, go to the guests vc.swift file, scroll to the bottom. That is the one like button has been clicked. You click here, it shows you the function like button click. So this like button, hold Ctrl left mouse, let drag it to here, release it. So action connection is created. Here in the connection inspector, it will show a touch up inside like button clicked. Okay, very good. So we can now simply build and run our project, and we will be able to like the posts. So yeah, and since we will finish with the like button, then we will go now to the comments view controller, and we will be able to write the comments for other users' posts. Okay, here the app got built. So let's go to the Bradley Cooper, and here it has two posts. I'll just like the first one, and here we go. It got liked. Okay, so in the likes here we have our posts from the Daniel Craig, which has the ID 3, to the post number 2 of the user 14. User 14. We got no user 14. Okay, just recheck this. Okay, again there is a 14, so I believe there is some minor update which we need to do with our PHP development, because whatever I press, it shows, for example, 14. Let me check another user, Jennifer Lawrence. Let's like her post. For example, the Washington, always 14. Okay, so definitely then there is in access.php, instead of the user ID, we're sending there 14. So what I will do, I'll go to the access.php, I'll search for 14. Okay, so, I got it, yeah. So 14, this is the ID of the current user. What I have done is, I have manually changed the IDs of the user just to start from 1. But in the app, it was saved 14, the old one. Okay, I'll just rebuild it and I will re-log in. Then everything will be fine. Daniel at mail.com, password 123456. Okay, that is the one, and we'll search for example, Jennifer Lawrence, and that is the one, the post which we have liked. Okay, I will like this post. Now it's fine. The user ID 3, this is the ID of the Daniel Craig, and the post number 9 is the USA Post is my dream to be inside. Okay, that is the one. So that is really amazing. I'll write just first and last post, and then I will come back to the Jennifer Lawrence page. It still shows in the proper order which post has been liked, which one is not. So that is really amazing and unbelievable. So with the PHP, everything is fine. Okay, Xcode. Now we will implement the feature to go to the comments page. So it means we can just simply click comment button and we can go to the comments page. Okay, so what I will do is I select the comment button, that is the one. So then we need to go to our comments page. Okay, that is the one. That is the one. And I will just hold Ctrl left mouse to drag from this button to the comments page, release and select the method show. Excellent. Okay, so do you see how it got embedded into navigation controller even though we're having here the come back button? So this is what we'll have to manipulate. Okay, so also we'll have to declare the comments VC, the comments VC identifier. So what I will do is this is our segue. Here in the attribute inspector under the identifier we must type comments VC. So because we want to program the special behavior for this. Okay, I put identifier VC, identifier of the segue. Then I am going to the home view controller to copy the block of code which is going to comments view controller. So that is home VC. Right after like button clicked, here we have a next function to execute the segue from current view controller to the comments view controller. So I'll copy this block of code which is prepared for segue from here to here, the closures of this code. Then I'm going back to the guest view controller right after like button clicked here before the closures of the class here. I will insert it. Okay, very good. So if you want, I can write here comments VC. Okay, very good. And now what we need to do is, as you have seen, it was embedded into navigation controller. We now need to hide navigation controller. Okay. Hide navigation bar from in comments view controller. Okay, to do this, it's very simple. To do this, it will just write one line of code. It will be absolutely just one line of code, which call self means current view controller navigation controller dot set navigation bar hidden true animated true. Excellent. Okay, hide navigation bar in the comments view controller. Okay, we can now simply build and run this, but once we hide it, then we must show it back on the current page because current page must have a navigation bar as in the Facebook to come back. Okay, here we'll write one more function after prepare for segue. Once after this prepare for segue, we'll write here one more function, which is view will appear. View will appear. Just let me show it to you. Let's say Bradley Cooper. So we're clicking comments view controller, and here as you see it got hidden. So that is beautiful. Then we're coming back. Okay, but when we come back, it's hidden as well. So we guys need now to show it back. Okay, so to do this, we'll run here one function, which is view will appear, and here we'll write super view will appear animated. This is preloaded function. So whatever loading before anything, this function will be loaded. Preloaded function means this is the first in the queue which is going to be loaded. If you have watched my another course, which is full Swift course, so you know very well how the chronology of the codes are working. Okay, so we'll write here navigation controller dot set navigation bar hidden false animated. Yes, true, absolutely. and we'll build and run this, and there is everything will be fine. Okay, it's getting built. And one more thing, guys, let's say when we go to the comments view controller, we'll have to implement the restriction if the person who wrote the comment, if he's not the current user, so we need now restrict his access to delete his comment. This is what we'll do after we confirm the functionality of this code which we wrote now regarding the navigation bar. Okay, I'm going to the Bradley Cooper's page, I'm going to the comments VC, navigation bar got hidden super well, then I'm coming back and it is here. Okay, so what you can do if you want to play with the animation, here you can write view did load or view did appear. This, because this preloaded function, it doesn't show the animation of showing navigation bar to the user. So when we come back to the guest VC, it just navigation bar, it just there because it's loaded before even it showed the guest view controller. Okay, when view did appear is a little bit different chronology of code is execution. Okay, I'm going back to the comment VC, it got hidden, and here it comes up. In my case, I prefer view will appear. Okay, now we'll do a restriction. When we go to the comments, let's say, hi there. Okay, so we will work here as well regarding the avas. We'll just work on this as well, don't worry about this. Okay, we are now heading to the comments view controller. And the following, what we want to do is we want to make a restriction if the user is not the owner of the comment, so we do not want him, do not want to allow him to delete it. Okay, first of all, to track this, we must know the ID of the user who wrote every comment. So here are var IDs in the comments VC. These are the IDs of the comments. For example, when we go in our database to the comments, so this is the ID of the comment 2 and 8. So we must now retrieve 15 and 14, for example, this user ID. Okay, so for that one, we'll create one more variable, which is var user IDs equals to array of the integer. Okay, and the logic which we will now implement, it will be super easy, but first we need to load all the user IDs. So what I will do is I will just search now for the IDs because, or I'll just search for the, for example, not full names, let's say avas, and the same stuff we will do for or just IDs, and the same stuff we'll do for the user IDs. Okay, so I'll go to the method where we load comments. Here we go. First we'll need to load the ID self.user_IDs.append every comment, then in the square brackets user underscore ID as being integer. So we are loading every comment's user ID and we're appending it to the user ID array. Okay, after that, let's say when we delete it, we must remove it as well from the front end. So we write user IDs dot remove at index path dot row. So this is insert comment. Here we need to insert it as well. So what we will do is we will now insert the comment, by the way. Yeah, here is we need to access. So that is the one, which is what we want to insert in the front end, the ID of the user who wrote the comment. Whenever it is insert means someone wrote it, only current user can write this. So here I will create just let ID equal ID string, or just let's say, for example, we can write here let user ID integer will be equals to integer. In the round brackets we'll write user ID. That is the one. So it means that is the one, and we'll force down cast it. Yeah, because here we will cast it as being a string, for example, then we'll convert it to be an ID. Okay, we can now build and run, and everything will be done well. And here we'll insert user IDs dot insert new element, which is user ID underscore integer at comments dot end index. So it means the last one. Comments s at the end. And then as the next step we will go to the can edit road index path yes or no. So it means if current user is not the owner of the post, then it is not allowed. So here we'll use the if statement. If user IDs in the square brackets index path equals to ID, means to the current user ID, for example, current user question mark, then in the square brackets we'll write ID. Then yes, then it is, yeah, it can be, let's say we can return true, else it will be not true, return false. Okay, let's just access these values and convert it to being a right format. Here we'll write let current user ID underscore, let's say string equals to current user question mark, then in the square brackets we'll write ID as string, and then we'll convert it. Let current user ID underscore integer will be equals to integer, in the round bracket we refer to the current user ID string. So we convert string to be the integer. Okay. So now we check if users IDs at index path is equal to the current user ID. So if you want, you can here write commentator ID equals to users ID, then in the square brackets index path row. If commentator ID equals to the current user ID, then allow shortcuts to unwrap variables. Here, if commentator is current user, then allow to delete the comment. Okay, so regarding here insert comment, I'll do it like this. Okay, we can now build and run, and everything must work well for us. So here we got a Bradley Cooper. We're going to one of his posts, and it got crashed when we write here something. Okay, so the issue is here it shows the issue with the user IDs. Okay, let's now check it. Okay, so it could be some bug from the Xcode. So how we can solve this? Just cut this line of the code, which has user IDs insert. That is the line, just let's cut it. And let's insert it right here at the top. So then everything must work fine. And another changes that I would like to do to this class is I don't want to force down cast to loading current users Ava. As you remember, this is the Ava which we have loaded on our homepage. that is the one whenever we change the profile picture or whenever the user is loaded. But what if it is only on home VC? But what if we don't go to home VC? So it means this value will be empty. So we need here to put comma, and I will use it safe mode to force downcasted current user underscore ava will be equals to, or we can write just ava will be equals to current user ava, and that value will replace with the ava. And then we have ava URL. This, I don't want this to force downcast as well, so we'll use let method. Let ava path equals to current user ava path as being, let's say, our string value. Or we'll just remove it from here, and here we'll insert ava path, and then we'll cast it as being a string. Okay, and another update I'd like to make to this code is in the guests view controller, rather than sending the picture from inside the cells image view, because it's too complicated, I will just write pictures at indexPath.row. And that one, this block of code to access cell, I will remove this. We are now heading to the helper.swift, and we're going to the function which we wrote down load image. So we'll just copy this block of code. Then we are going back to our comments view controller, and here in the guard let else method, we'll just insert it here. So, and this will download the current user's profile picture if it is not loaded. Okay, so here instead of the path, we will use current user ava, that is the one, as being a string, and then if downloading image all data from the URL. So downloading all data from the URL here means we are assigning the proper image to the imagery. Okay, so here everything is happen well. So what we will do here, we will write current user ava will be equals to these ones. We'll just remove it because this has failed to load data from the URL. This has failed to load image from the data. And here, instead of the image, you will just simply assign it to the current user. Ava, assign image to the global variable. Okay, we can now build and run this. Okay, let me go to any of the comments. Let's go to here. Go to that comment. Hello, Brad. Okay, here we go. So now we can remove this comment, but we cannot remove the comment which doesn't belong to us. So that is really amazing, guys. That's really, really cool. And another point that we need to update is we do not want to allow the user to send the message if there is, let's say, just only the white spaces. So we will go now to the send button underscore click function, and we'll check now. Comment text v.text is empty equals false, which means if it is not empty, then only insert the comment. Okay. Insert new comment if there is some text. Okay, and another step, what I want to do is, let's say I wrote something and I put some letters. When I click on this, then I want to trim this white space and just send the text only. Okay, so Yeah, here we need to write if. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so we are now going to the insert comment function here. Instead of comment, what we will do is I will just cut this and I will insert it here, and I will write here dot trimming characters in white space and new lines. So all white space and new lines it will trim, so it means it will deduct it from the string. Okay, let's say we're going to the animal users where we'll just put, let's say first of all it's an M. If it is, for example, okay, for example, if it is an empty string it won't send it, but when there are a lot of line, some text, and then we'll click on this, it will just trim this. At the beginning it's gonna trim it. So this is what we wanted to achieve. Let's say like hello there, and I'll send it, and it will just trim all of these comments. Okay, so and that's amazing. That is amazing. And the next thing is, if there are white lines and there are no text, we do not want to allow the user to send this. And the last moment here, whereby coming back to the send button, click here, we'll put and comment text view dot text dot trimming characters in set dot white space and new lines is empty equals false, means after trimming the white space and the new lines at the comment text view, it is not empty, only then allow user to send a message. Okay, we're going to the post, then we'll type, let's say this, and it doesn't allow us to send. Okay, unless we will write how are you, and then it will send it by trimming all the white space. So that is amazing. This is the result which we wanted to achieve. So great job guys, congratulations, it was really amazing.